Welcome everyone. Wow, this time is already the fifth episode of my podcast, and I'm really looking forward to talk over this topic about female energy. Ah, female energy is so important because, especially the last time I realized, I noticed how how can we say this, like how far away we women are from our female energy, because our society, the way we grew up, we were always taught to work with the male energy. So what does this mean? Male energy is the straight energy. Like male, female energy doesn't only have to be for men and women. Both men and women have female and male energy. And it's what we call in the Eastern world, we have yin and yang, the sun and the moon. We always have the two sides, the right and the left, female and male. But in our society, the male energy is dominant. Male energy does mean like routine. Every day, the same routine, the same stuff. It's like the circle, the routine is one day, and you can repeat it over and over again. And you see it for the work, like how this environment is there. Of like you start at the same time, you end at the same time, you go to the same place, do the same work, whatever. And this you do 5 or 6 days a week, 52 weeks a year. Of course, you have some vacation, but you know, you know what the point is. So the thing is that female creatures don't work with a one-day cycle. You can also see this when you go to the hormones. What men's, like their hormones, they have a cycle for one day, and during their whole life, the hormone, the level of the hormone stays more or less in one straight line. Of course, it rises up a little bit, but then it stays, and at the end, when you get older, it goes a little bit down, but only a little bit. Well, have you ever seen the curve of female hormones? I mean, it's crazy. We have these 4 different hormones that are like activating the ovulation. After the ovulation, they prepare the womb in case there is a baby. They see, oh, there is no baby. So then we have to detox everything, get rid of it, and start a new cycle again. So this cycle takes us in an average 28 days. And during these 28 days, we have different phases. So there is a phase like where our body has a lot of hormone, there's a lot of heat coming up, we have a lot of energy, but we also have to have a little bit, we cool down. Then we have the moments where everything here is quite cold, when we have the bleedings, where we need more warm energy, we need more rest, because our body is working quite hard. And in our society, we just completely ignore this fact that women have a cycle. So this is what I also see like in daily life. I really see like how I grew up, like my patterns, how I act, that we also feel like we have to do everything same as men. And for me, what is really interesting, like in this whole yoga world, in Buddhism, in whatever kind of world, Ayurveda, you often have like these routines and everything. Like an average day, you wake up before the sunrise, you do your stuff, blah 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 blah. But this is all made for men, for male energy. And for me, I'm someone I always thought like, oh, okay, I need really to stick with these routines and then everything will work out. But I realized I don't manage to do these routines. It's not possible for me. I think I've never managed to do it like really like a couple of weeks in a row, because at one point it's like it's not working. I feel like I'm fighting against myself. And this is really it. It's like this is created for men. But women, we need different things. One thing they told us in my yoga teacher training was that women need more sleep than men. So actually the woman should sleep longer than a man. So this is what I see, like when I love to wake up early, but when I go like with this average suggested time of waking up at 5 a.m., I have a quite hard time. When I wake up at 5:30 or 6, I do great. So this is where I feel like, oh yeah, I really need more sleep. And one thing that's really important that we see, like male energy is straight, it's like pushing a lot of energy. And women, as we see even like in our sexuality, like when you have this picture, you see men, they're like this straight, they're pushing energy, and women, we have this quality of receiving energy. We receive, we hold the space, and what we need is a lot of patience. I mean, when you see how a child is born, I mean, girl, this takes you 9 months. And this is what I really notice for me when I try to run around and push energy and like, oh, there are all these strategies and doing a business and blah, 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 blah. And I have to do this and I have to follow, all this logical stuff. I'm not coming anywhere. But when I sit down, and I know this is the hardest part ever, relax and wait. Be patient. Stuff is coming to me. I don't even have to go outside and search. Stuff is coming to me. And what I realized, when I was younger, I mean, I'm still young, when a couple of years ago, I was really in this super straight energy. I was so organized and structured and everything, but I was not at all connected with my female energy. Not at all, not at all. And it just caused me a lot of stress and everything. And what I notice is like this, I can't even believe that I say this, because I think a few years ago or even a few months ago, if someone would have said this, I would have gone crazy. But what I notice, like the society today, that it's like, oh, women, like we're strong, we need to be independent, we have our business women, we do everything by our own, we don't need a man. I was like this, really. And for me, what I have to say, what I notice more and more, like receiving, learning to receive, learning that you can have someone supporting you is so important for everyone, and I feel especially for women, because with this whole streams that we have of also feminism, I say it's super important, of course, that we're equal, that we have the same rights, everything. I don't say anything about that. But what I see, it's like sometimes it switches to another extreme of like, we switch too much in our male energy and we feel like, oh, we have to be exactly the same as men. But actually, what I notice, and something that I feel like gives me a lot of peace, is realizing that I don't have to work, that I don't have to be like a man, that I can find my own way to do stuff, to manage business, for everything. And I say this is not that someone has more value, that men are better and women are less. And like with the rights, of course, we need equal rights and everything. But it's like they're two different energies. You can't compare water and fire. They're both amazing. We both need them. But it's like water is different than fire. That's it. No more discussions. And this is something that is so, so, so important for us. I just really started like to realizing this, and I don't say I have a solution here, not at all. I'm now getting more and more deeper in like getting to knowing my cycle, being connected with my body, and studying like, okay, what are the different qualities from my cycle, and how can I adjust my activities, my food according to it. Because what I notice is like during the cycle, it depends like what happened, how stressed I was or anything. This really depends then on how my menstruation is. Like if I have more pain or no pain. Because this is another really important point to say that we're so often not aware of, is it's not normal to have pain. Just please let this sink. I repeat it again. It's not normal to have pain. It's not normal to have pain during your cycle. It's not normal to have menstruation? I hope I spelled correctly. Pain. It's not. Your body is created to handle all of this stuff. But it's about us, how we are connected with our body, how we listen to our body, how we support our body and not fight against or just completely ignore that we have something like a cycle. And I really noticed this. Like for me, it's really funny. I see now, it's really important to take a break, like during menstruation, to just chill, give you 1 or 2 days of break of like non-physical activities. I have done this a couple of months ago, but the last times I haven't. I still kept like going to workouts, I was going to the fitness, I felt like, oh yeah, I still have energy. Of course, like, I feel a little bit in my body, but I usually don't have pain during my period anymore. But then what I noticed, I have hell of a pain during my ovulation. Before, I never felt my ovulation. This is what I'm now really grateful for. It's really interesting, like the more you get into it, the more you feel. So I feel the point of my ovulation, but it's like I have more pain than I ever had during my menstruation. And this is what I noticed now. It's like, okay, yeah, it's really, it matters what you're doing during the cycle. And another point I want to go deeper, I will for sure continue with this topic. I just ordered a book about the female cycle, and I'm so looking forward to have this one, to study more, to connect it more to the Ayurvedic principles, because in Ayurveda they describe the menstrual cycle, or how you can balance it. And I like to connect this and really work together, and I'm really already looking forward to share all of this with you. But another really important point to go back is receive. My lovely women's out there, please, you are valuable enough. You are so much more than enough. You are worth it to receive. And what I noticed, for me, previously, receiving was like failing. it was like, oh, I can't manage the stuff by myself, and now someone needs to give me something, or not even need. Like they give me something. For me, it was, oh no, this is too much. I can't receive this. It's really crazy. It's like I had a time over a year ago. I went crazy when someone like gifted me something that was like more expensive. I was like, oh my god, no, I can't take this. But it's really interesting, like there, how I learned to receive stuff and how it helps me now. Because if I would have not been able to receive, I wouldn't be here where I am right now. Because at this place, how I even get in here, it was so much of receiving. Like the people here, what they're doing for me, what they're giving to me is far beyond all of my imaginations. And I had some times where it was really hard for me to receive this. I was like, oh my god, this is too much. And I was stressed of like, oh my god, how can I give this back, you know? So it's like a feeling of like, oh no, then I'm dependent. It's like I need to buy myself out of it. Like I need to be free. I don't need to own anyone anything. But first of all, when someone is giving you something, it's their responsibility. When they have expectations, it's not your problem. Easy, clear. I know it's hard, but it is like this. Because just like remember, when you give something to someone, when you want to support someone, and you give it from your heart, you love when this person receives it. And you don't need much, you don't need tears or whatever, 1,000 thank yous. It's just like, hey, it's fine, keep it. And this is something for me was so hard to accept, that I just can't like, wow, I'm valuable enough by just being myself. I don't have to first do something to be valuable enough. And for me, I always said I never want to be dependent on someone. Especially, I want to have my own business and everything. So when I have a man, a husband, maybe a child, I don't want to be dependent on my husband. I want to be able to earn my own money, to do all of the stuff by myself. But now I see how stupid this is. It's really stupid, because you feel like, oh, when I don't earn money, you connect earning money to your value. But instead, you can just receive. You can say thank you. Don't see receiving as equal you failed. See it as support. You have a back support. And in our society nowadays, we're so used to feel like, we don't want to be dependent on anyone, we need to do everything by ourselves. But hey, when you start seeing, when you connect with people, work together with them, you support them, they support you. This is so crazy than what can grow out of this. Because if you want to grow, you need an environment that supports you, that holds you. And you don't need to hold all of this by yourself. It's completely fine to receive. It's completely fine to receive from men. It's safe, and it doesn't say that you as a woman are less worth than a man. Of course, I say it's also, of course, women can have their business and everything and a lot of money and being independent, everything. This is like same for men and women, of course. But maybe if you're not there yet, it's okay. And be patient. I think for us women, our treasures, the gems, they're lying in patience, in being, in setting intentions, and then let go and let it grow. Like, let your projects and everything grow. Give them time. Give them all your love, as if you would have a baby. And like for a baby, you would also not sit there and say like, oh, when does it come finally? It's like when you're started in the first month. It's like, no, it's gonna take me 8-9 months until I can deliver my baby. Of course, to the end, you're maybe gonna start to be like, oh, when is it there finally? But you feel it's there, it's almost ready, right? But before, be patient. And this is the craziest thing, what I observe when I stop trying to run around like crazy, try to push my energy everywhere, trying to achieve this stuff or whatever, to let my business grow and try to find these ideas and everything. It's really not working. It's not working for me. But when I sit down and say, okay, I'm ready to receive, I'm ready to wait, I'm patient. I just see what comes, and whatever comes to me, I do. And then sometimes in between a few hours, there's like people coming to me like, we have this and this idea, let's do this. I was like, I would have never thought of something like this. And it's amazing. And it's just like, yeah, of course, this is for me. But let the stuff come to you. Because imagine when you're always there pushing your energy out, there is no space for stuff to come to you. Because even if it's there, you won't see it. So ladies, take a deep breath. I know it takes time, but set your intention. We can unlearn stuff. We can learn new stuff. And I think for us it's the most important thing to be connected with ourselves, be connected with our sexuality, be connected with our female energy. Being in this soft energy, being in this patience, and in this lies our power. This doesn't mean that you are weak. No, this is so much more power. We are so powerful. We just show it in a different way than men. My loves, have a wonderful rest of your day. Wherever you are, I hope you're doing great. Thank you so much for every single person that takes your time and is sharing their energy with me and listening to this podcast. I wish you all the best in the world. I'm sending you all my love. Feel hugged, shine bright, and hopefully see you soon. Thank you so much.